alongside highlights like the A14 chipset, 5G, quicker cameras, and the smooth new design. We saw on the iPhone 12, the Pro adds more camera abilities, a more tasteful design, twofold the base stockpiling, and more smash. Anyway, is it worth spending that piece additional money, and is this the best phone around? Design. The iPhone 12 Pro is a cutting-edge take on the iPhone 5. From the second I unpacked the graphite adaptation of the iPhone 12 Pro, I realized Apple settled on the best choice, returning to a design made notable by the iPhone 5. However, adjusting it considerably further checks out, and it totally works. This isn't hands down the most attractive iPhone ever, yet the most attractive phone you can purchase at the present time. While the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro outwardly are basically the same, the Pro satisfies its name by feeling a fair piece smarter. The rails are a super glossy and truly smudgy tempered steel instead of aluminum, and the back is pearly glass. The variety decisions also are less perky, with light tints dumped for additional threatening more obscure ones. Indeed, that is separated from the gold assortment, which is out-and-out bling-tastic. Because of this utilization of treated steel, the 12 Pro has a weightier feel. It's not weighty at 189 grams, however it is certainly denser than its less expensive kin. These steel sides are additionally milder to the touch, and more satisfying to grasp onto for expanded periods. The pearly glass back is an armor as well, shunning all fingerprints totally. It very well may be heavier. Yet the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro are indistinguishable in size, aspects, and IP rating for water opposition. On the off chance that you purchase a case for one, it'll fit the other. Obviously, on the off chance that you need a greater phone, the 6.7 inches show-carrying Max variant is not far off. The 6.1 inches screen is bigger than the 11 Pro, but the actual phone is just possibly taller. It stays one of the more modest leads around, offering a reprieve from the gigantic measure of huge screen gadgets. I can hold it with one hand without feeling like I will drop it, and the additional screen, when contrasted with the 11 Pro, is gladly received. While I would ordinarily influence towards the bigger end with regards to a phone, this is an extremely decent center ground. Covering the presentation of the iPhone 12 Pro is Apple's new artistic safeguard glass. This is created related to Corning and is, as indicated by Apple, 4x greater at enduring drops than past models. Apple has added nano-fired precious stones into the glass, which are said to make it a lot more grounded, and this is joined with the recently utilized double particle trade for scratch obstruction. However, the iPhone 12 Pro isn't probably any more scratch-safe than the iPhone 11 or 11 Pro. Also, frequently when things become better at enduring drops, they become more helpless to different kinds of harm, similar to scratches. My screen is still perfect of scratches, but my iPhone 11 Pro's presentation has gotten all question of dings and little scratches throughout the course of recent months. Screen, no ProMotion. However, this is as yet an extraordinary presentation. I had never anticipated that Mac should carry out a quick refresh rate show across the entire iPhone territory, but I was trusting a 90 or 120 Hz iPad Pro-like ProMotion board could track down its direction onto the Pro model. That is not the situation here, and the new board remains locked at 60 Hz. It's anything but a deal breaker. However, it implies the iPhone 12 Pro isn't exactly as smooth in activity as the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. That bandy to the side, the showcase here stays phenomenal. It checks each case I search for, including phenomenal variety reproduction, astonishing degrees of differentiation, and enough splendor to see outside in harder circumstances serenely. The OLED board produces amazing blacks, HDR content at 12.0 nits for noticeable improvements, and the encompassing bezel is super slight. You have no manual command over the showcase, a component now normal on Android. Yet when it's this great out of the container, I don't actually have to tinker with any settings. While the media experience is for the most part incredible, the score is still here and does in any case cause the presentation to feel somewhat more modest than it ought to. You'll probably disregard decently fast. And the Face ID benefits are clear, yet I truly do wish Apple had, at this point, figured out how to shrivel it. With the iPhone 11 Pro last year, you realized you were getting a genuinely better showcase by paying more over the iPhone 11. That is not exactly the situation here, as the iPhone 12 is presently essentially comparable to this board. Both are OLED, have the XDR marking and a similar goal. They might likewise both hit 12.0 nits at any point top splendor, while you're watching HDR content. The main genuine contrast I can detect is a somewhat higher general splendor on the Pro model, giving the screen a more brilliant white look when you're outside. Performance. The iPhone 12 Pro is as of now unequaled for speed, controlling the whole iPhone 12 line. Right from the little to the max is the A14 Bionic chipset. This is Apple's most productive silicone yet, with a 5nm process and a boundlessly improved brain motor for computer-based intelligence. There's likewise a 5G modem inside, giving you admittance to the quick information organization on the off chance that you're in an upheld region. Many groups of 5G are upheld, and the US variant of the gadget has an additional receiving wire as an afterthought for mmWave UWB availability. We don't have this yet in the UK, so not a misfortune it's absent. 5G was the trendy expression during the 12 Pro's send-off occasion, and it is being moved vigorously via transporters as an upset by the way you utilize your phone. They'll probably be directly in a couple of years, when the help is undeniably more boundless, yet at this point I think the recognizable contrast for most is negligible. I live in a space where 5G is accessible on the off chance that I walk a clamp down the road, and keeping in mind that it's good to see that 5G logo spring up. The genuine download speeds on 3 are scarcely higher than 4G, and significantly under an EE4G sim I used to look at. In a couple of years when 5G is undeniably more broad, and we're out again going to gigs and back in large arenas and celebrations, then the advantages will probably be significantly more self-evident. For the present, however, it's nowhere near an unquestionable requirement. Strangely, Apple has a smart 5G component empowered as a matter of course that changes you back down to 4G in the event that it passes judgment on you don't actually require the advantages of the quicker network. This is by all accounts an effective method for shuffling battery duration and quicker speeds, possibly providing you with the full force of 5G while you're downloading something. The iPhone 12 Pro is one of the quickest phones around, if not the quickest. I haven't seen any slack or stoppage during my experience with the phone. And save for a couple of iOS 14 bugs, the experience has been liquid and phenomenal. In the manufactured Geekbench 5 benchmark application, which ought to give a fair by and large perspective on performance, the phone scores 1597 in single center and 3968 in multi-center. This is a truly high score on the 2 counts. Games run like a fantasy. And there's sufficient great stuff on Apple Arcade to make this an incredible minimal compact gaming machine, particularly when you interface up a regulator. The 12 Pro likewise profits by more smash than the iPhone 12, and keeping in mind that it's difficult to recognize the advantage, it ought to keep the phone quick over various years. You've likewise got base capacity of 128 GB, accessible, that is twofold the iPhone 12. These 2 reasons could make the overhaul worth the effort for some. Sound from the speakers is generally excellent, call quality is solid, and there's Wi-Fi 6 help assuming you have the right switch. Camera, little changes in each space have a major effect. It's with the camera abilities where the iPhone 12 Pro really separates itself from the less expensive iPhone 12 and stands as one of the most amazing camera phones around. Alongside an additional 12-megapixel sensor, with a 52mm identical focal point for 2x shots, there's a smart LiDAR sensor that empowers quicker low-light centering. Its video abilities are barely better as well, with 60 FPS video upheld while you're shooting in Dolby Vision HDR. In terms of the fundamental 12MP wide camera, however, the Pro has a similar setup as the iPhone 12. The Pro Max, then again, has a lot greater sensor, so that could be the model to pay special attention to on the off chance that you truly need the best camera experience. The last camera is a f/2.4 ultra wide, which can now require night mode shots. The iPhone 12 Pro records HDR video in a HLG design, with some Dolby Vision encoding on top to give scene-by-scene metadata. The outcomes are shocking, and particularly when seen on the iPhone 12 Pro's HDR screen. Colors pop, skies stick out, and there's a genuine feeling of style that currently feels missing when I return to the iPhone 11. Obviously, there are some similarity issues. Applications will battle with the video, and, surprisingly, attempting to see it on a Dolby Vision television with an Apple Television 4 Kelvin likewise isn't effective because of the configurations utilized. You should switch it off in the event that you believe they should be pretty much as generally viable as could really be expected. Battery life. MagSafe is a pleasant choice, however you'll probably be purchasing your own charger as well. You probably know at this point that the iPhone 12 Pro doesn't accompany a fitting inside the container. There are no headphones by the same token. Apple says this is to help its point of going carbon impartial, and it makes for a far slimmer box. Yet, by keeping the Lightning port, I figure a great many people will in any case have to get themselves Apple's new 20-watt fitting. That is, except if you're refreshing from the 11 Pro. For one's purposes, the link included needs a USB-C port hauling plug, so it will not join to a more established one. Those more seasoned chargers have measly 5W connectors that charge gradually. You'll be taking a gander at several hours to accuse this phone of a 5W charger completely. Finally, thanks for watching this video. See you again next time.